Okay.
and we will start.
Okay, great.
Okay, I think we will wait for about 2 until 3 minutes and we'll start. Okay, we'll start the sessions. Okay, I think we will start our session. So everyone here, please turn on your camera. Also for the discussion sessions, we hope that we can actively involve in the discussions. Okay, so let's start. Hello everyone, good evening from Indonesia. Welcome to the Bali International Student Festival 2026. So great to see all of you here today on the second day of the BISF 2026. My name is Ciptadi Akbar Adiat and I will be your moderator for this finance and digital economy workshop sessions. Here I accompanied by Aulia Salvi as the licensed officer in this panel. So today's agenda or the second day of the BISF, we will have a talk show sessions with our three incredible speakers here, and then will be continued by the Q&A session. So I encourage all of you to get involved in the Q&A sessions, and also please ask the speakers anything that you want to ask. Okay, and then we'll be continued by the ice breaking sessions. We'll have some discussions for about 30 minutes, and are going to be some briefings regarding the last day of the BIASF with Aulia. Okay, so bringing a topic about youth in the age of digital finance and crypto ethics, we have goals that the young generations will have better understanding in decentralized finance and digital economy, contribute to financial innovations, raise awareness of blockchain and investment opportunity. We also have to gain key challenges in digital finance, for instance, market risk, combating fraud, and ethical use. Now, finance and the digital economy are not just about transactions or technology. They are about value, innovations, inclusion, and how we connect and empower people across the world. And today, we're going to explore all of that from the dynamic and forward-looking perspectives. So, for Aulia, maybe we can start by with the profile of the each speakers. Okay, so let me introduce our awesome speakers for today. First, we have Ms. Dwi Ananda Rahmadina. She is a content strategist and policy advocate who developed narratives framework for brands across healthcare, financial technology, and creative sectors. She currently serves as content strategist at Salwin Group Singapore and has previously worked with the European Business Chamber of Commerce and the ITPC under the Ministry of Trade. She holds a Bachelor of Arts in International Relations and Communications from the University of Illinois at the Urbana-Champaign. Champaign. Okay, for the second speaker, we have Christine Natasha. She's a senior equity analyst with over 12 years of experience in Indonesia's capital market, specializing in equity research across sectors such as consumer goods, retail, automotive, plantations, poultry, and telecommunications. Natasha brings strong expertise in market analysis, valuations, and investment strategy, and has consistently earned top rankings in Bloomberg while contributing to the key institutional investment decisions. Okay, hi Natasha. Last but not least, we also have Mr. Stephen Anderson. He is an entrepreneur and finance professional with experience spanning in investment, digital marketing, and financial analytics. He currently serves as the CEO of CoinKami and Crypto Class, where he focuses on business development, financial strategy, and investor education. Stephen possesses strong expertise in financial market and digital business and has been actively engaged in stock and cryptocurrency investing since 2017. Maybe some of you are familiar with him, with his content. But his content on social media, he's a great guy. So let's give them a big round of applause for all the three speakers today. Okay, so here's how today will go. This is a workshop style session, so it is going to be an interactive and discussion based. I will be asking a few questions, and all of our speakers will share their thoughts and experience. Feel free to really listen, reflect, and get inspired because there are going to be a lot of practical insights today. And I remind you, please to take notes what the speaker is saying because it will be beneficial for our last day of the event. So, all right, let's jump right in. Okay, I think we can ask the speakers, each speaker, and introductions again. Okay, we will start from Dwi Rahmadina. Hi, Dwi Rahmadina, how are you? Could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for Mas Akbar to moderate this discussion topic. First of all, I'm very grateful to be here along with other panelists, Kak Steven and also Kak Christine, Natasha. To reintroduce myself, my name is Dewey. I am now a content strategist in a small agency B2B firm in Singapore. But before that, to until 3 years of my experience revolve around government relations and policy advocacy, in which one of it's in European Chamber of Commerce, and also a few of government relations consulting. Educational wise, I graduated from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, where I studied political science and communication. So over to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you, Dwi Madina. So it's interesting to know that you are also have a background of working experience in ITPC. That's pretty amazing. Anyway, is it ITPC in USA? Since you're also studying in USA or in some other part?
Yes, so International Trade Promotion Center is a promotional arm uh,
Hmm.
from Ministry of Trade. So it's basically like a representative of Ministry of Trade across the globe. And I am privileged enough to work to have experience in the International Trade Promotion Center in Chicago.
Chicago.
So there are, yes, in Chicago and Illinois. So there are three ITPCs in the US. There's one in LA and there's one in Washington D.C. So yeah, very grateful for that experience. Thank you.
Great. Okay, because I also sometimes in communications with the ITPC from Dubai, Dubai ITPC
Awesome,
here.
Dubai, right?
From Dubai, yeah, in this region for the Middle Eastern area. Okay,
Love it.
nice to see you. Dria Madina, thank you. Now let's move to Christine Natasha. Hi, Natasha, how are you? Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, it's good to see everybody here. Good to know you. And hello, Dwi and Stephen. Nice to meet you all, and Akbar. So my name is Christine Natasha, and I currently work at a global multinational firm operating across multiple markets. But due to regulatory and compliance requirements, I'm not able to disclose the company name publicly. But work focuses currently as an equity analyst, focusing on the investment strategy and equity analysis. So my journey started on the sell side company where I spent more than 10 years as an equity analyst, covering multiple sectors and advising the institutional investors. That experience really shaped how I look at the markets today from both research and also an investment perspective. So yeah, thank you for having me here.
All right, thank you, Natasha, for sharing an incredible story and also your long story of experience for about 12 years. So, yeah, she is an expert one. So, please feel free to ask Natasha during the Q&A session. So, okay, let's jump into the last speaker here. Last but not least, Mr. Stephen Anderson. Should we ask you Stephen or Anderson?
Just call me Steven. It's okay.
Okay, Stephen, could you please introduce yourself?
Okay, so good evening, everybody. So thanks for having me here. So good evening to other panelists as well, Natasha and Dwi. Yeah, so yeah, my name is Stephen Anderson. So I'm an entrepreneur and a finance professional and also a content creator. Yeah, in stocks and cryptocurrency and also personal finance. So maybe some of you have saw my content maybe on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. Yeah. So I'm a public speaker and mentor that often talks about like digital marketing, investing, and yeah, share to my private communities. Yeah. So because I have a vision to educate the world about the correct investment mindset, something like that. So right now I am succeeding my family business in the heavy equipment industries and also focus on the financial market, especially in the stocks and cryptocurrencies, as I have started in this industry since 2017. I started investing in the crypto market. Yeah. So regarding my educational background, I have my bachelor in international business management in Surabaya and master of science in management from NUS Singapore. Yeah. So yeah, nice to meet you all and hope we all can learn from each other today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens. Yeah, that's interesting story to hear about Stephen's story regarding the crypto. So for all of you here, just feel free to check his social media and to learn a lot of information from his insight. Okay, I think we will start from for the sessions today. So on the start of or the beginning of these sessions, what is digital economy and how does it differ from the traditional economy? Because how it evolved us over the past decade. Okay, maybe we can start from Natasha.
Okay. What is digital finance? So it simply means that financial services that are delivered through technology. So in today's world, we don't need to go to banks physically anymore. We can save, transfer money, invest, or even trade stocks directly from our phones. There are a lot of applications out there that have made investing extremely accessible, even with small amounts of money. So why is this growing fast? The answer is simple. Almost everyone has a smartphone. Financial platforms are becoming also cheaper and also easier and also faster. Social media also has made financial information widely available now, although not always accurate. This creates a huge opportunity, in my view. So, for young people today, you can start investing much earlier than previous generations. You can access global markets, learn from free resources, and build wealth step by step. But yeah, well, there are also risks. Um, yeah, the digital economy refers also to the economic activities driven by technology, data, and also online platforms. In the equity market where I work, this distinction is very important because it changes how companies are valued. Digital companies are typically, you know, asset light, and also it's highly scalable and driven by network effects. And this also allows these companies to grow faster and achieve higher margins once they reach scale. And as a result, investors value them based on future growth, often leading to higher valuation and multiples. And in contrast, traditional companies are capital intensive and they grow more steadily. And the way I look at it is that their valuations are usually supported by stable earnings and dividends. But over the past decade, we have seen a major shift in the market leadership. Like there are a lot of technology companies, like for example, Apple, Amazon, and Nvidia have become dominant in global indices, like replacing the traditional sectors. At the same time, digital platforms have created winner takes all dynamics, where a few companies dominate the entire ecosystem. In Indonesia, the shift is still developing, but the rise of companies like, for example, Goto, reflects the growing importance of the digital economy. However, it's important to note that digital does not always mean better. Many digital companies face profitability challenges, and their valuations are highly sensitive to interest rates. So, yeah, for investors, the key is not choosing between digital or traditional, but understanding how each behaves under different economic conditions.
Okay, thank you for your insight. So, Natasha, comparing regarding the digital economy, also the previous one, but the traditional economy. Now, I think we can move to Dwi. So, Dwi, do you have another point of view regarding these questions?
Okay, so first of all, yes, I do have like a slightly a different, well, the same answer, kind of validating what Kak Christine has said before. So before, like a quick moment before we dive in, I'm not like a finance person. I'm a content strategist. May I reiterate that? So I help brands tell stories, which means I have applied analytical sense to these topics and issues in the sense of narrative. So why am I here talking about digital finance? It's because I'm exactly where most of you are, overwhelmed and also curious and trying to figure out what actually matters in the space versus what's just a noise. So there are a lot of like jargons and also buzzwords coming through. When I started covering the space digital economy, it sounded like a phrase from a McKinsey slide. It didn't really click. It's just a noise for me. So I agree that traditional economy runs on things you can touch, like factories, cash registers, shops. But the digital economy runs on things you cannot touch, like data, code, platform, networks. It's same value but different rails. And how has it evolved over the past decade? It actually faster than any of us can expect it. 10 years ago, e-commerce was still considered a small slice of retail. And by 2020, the pandemic basically forced every business to digitize or disappear. By 2023, AI moved from a tool to a teammate. And by 2026, today we have programmable money, which means value itself can now move at the speed of code. Coming back in Indonesia, you can almost trace the whole arc through one story, such as in Tokopedia, Gojek, Goto, that trajectory in this digital economy in a nutshell, a country that leapfrogged a generation of legacy infrastructure and went straight to mobile first. So that's my take in digital economy as of now. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, because when we take a look into the accelerations of the innovations, it's not only accelerate in the developed country, but also in small country, even in small area, the creations of digital economy is really advanced. So, yeah, that's interesting point of view from Gria Ahmadina. Thank you. And now we will jump to Mr. Stephen Anderson. So, from Stephen, what's your point of view about this?
My point of view are basically quite the same with other speakers. So think of it this way. So the traditional economy is basically like we moving physical stuff around, like goods, people, we trade with the cash, all of that. But with the digital economy, like basically we does the same thing, but with the data and the code. So it doesn't care about the borders or business hours, something like that. So for example, a physical store in Surabaya or Jakarta can serve a customer in Medan at 2 a.m. But using the e-commerce like Tokopedia or Shopee, we can do that. Like so that's the basic fundamental difference. And so basically the COVID-19 in 2020 forced the 5 years of digital adoption into like 12 months. So people who never order food online, like now they being forced to order using Gojek or Grab. And people who never done a video call before are being forced to do a Zoom meeting or Gmeet or something like that. So suddenly they have no choice but to adapt to this digital transformation. And like now, like 15 to 20% of the global GDP are being driven digitally. So I think digital transformation is becoming more and more important, and especially in the investing and finance world as well. Because right now we can easily learn from each other using the social media and also the rise of the artificial intelligence. We can learn from the AI. We don't need to browse the internet anymore. So I think, yeah, that's the glimpse of the digital transformation.
Okay, cool. Also, it mentions some of the creations like Gojek. Also, it's regarding to job creations. Anyway, there is always a debate regarding
Recording in
the
progress.
new innovations and technology. And what's your point of view about the relationship between the digital economy to the economic growth and job creations? Maybe some, for instance, Gojek, the driver. I also have some debate in current world also, but not only in this sector, but also in some other industries. What's your point of view in accumulations, in the creation, in the accelerations of these industries regarding job creations? Maybe we can start from Dwi.
Thank you. Actually, I really like this question. This is part where I uh find it very exciting as a marketer.
Recording stopped.
Oh, sorry. Okay, because the digital economy, it just doesn't grow. It spawns whole new categories of work that didn't exist when I was in university. It sounds like a long time ago, but I graduated four, five, no, 4 years ago. So it was not a long time ago. And let me give you a real number. So Southeast Asia's digital economy is projected to reach roughly 360 billion US dollars by 2030. That is according to the Google Temasek Southeast Asia report. And of course, Indonesia is the biggest single contributor to that number. And here's the job creation part. 5 years ago, again, it's not a long time ago, guys. My job as a content strategist for fintech and creative brands, it barely existed at scale. And today it's entirely a different industry. Same with social commerce sellers, community managers, blockchain developers, which we'll talk about later. None of these were career paths a decade ago. And the other thing I would flag is over 50 million Indonesian uh, small medium enterprises have been onboarded into digital platforms in recent years, in which each of one of those is a some small business that suddenly has a national, sometimes regional customer base. And for me, that is not an abstract growth. That is like warung in Jogja selling to someone in Surabaya overnight, which again validate Stephen's point. So yeah, that's my take on this. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dwi. Now let's take a look into the Stephen perspective regarding this question. So, what's your view?
So basically about the digital economy contribute a lot to the economic growth and job creation. So for example, if we work in the Web3, we can work remotely. So like for example, a freelancer in Kalimantan can sell their software to a startup in Singapore. So that's basically a dollar income entering Indonesia. So we can utilize the Gratiam's law. So we like earn in dollar, but we spend in rupiah. So basically, we stay in Indonesia, but we earn in US dollar. So basically, that's a difference in the currency and also one of the contributing factor of the digital economy nowadays. So and also a small warung in Surabaya right now can be discovered on Google Maps. So they can have new demands that they never had access before. So maybe some of the foreigners can like found the warung in Surabaya, the small stalls, by using the Google Maps. And for the job wise, right now, I think there are a lot of job creation. There are a lot of debate regarding this. Maybe some people say that with the automation and the AI, a lot of jobs are becoming changed with the machinery or stuff. But I think it depends on the skills. So we need to adapt with the skills that the job market needed nowadays. As long as you guys have the skills that the job market needed nowadays, I think the digitalization will contribute a lot to the job creation because right now it become borderless. You can stay in Indonesia, but you can get a job like anywhere around the world. You can like get a job in Singapore, in the US, or maybe in China. Yeah, all part of the world. So I think yeah, there are a lot of opportunity with the digitalization nowadays.
Okay, great. Anyway, I just have a follow-up questions regarding this. What's your point of view? Do you think this economic and digitalizations era is only implemented for youth generations or current generations, or also it is inclusions, more inclusivity also implemented for the older generations? What's your view, Stephen?
I think it implemented to all of the generation. So basically, we need to be more have an adaptability skills regarding this technological innovation. Because in this innovation, if you are not adapting to this, you will be collapsed, right? Yeah. So basically,
True.
all of the generation need to adapt. All of the small medium enterprises business. If you are an entrepreneur, you are a professional, you are a content creator, all of you should adapt to these changes.
Okay, great. So we need to keep learning and to adapt to the current technology situations.
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
great. Thank you, Stephen. Now let's move to Natasha. What's your point of view, Natasha?
Well, I think Stephen and Andrew have answered the question very properly. So I agree to both answers. I mean, digital economy plays, a major role in driving economic growth by increasing productivity, expanding market access, just like what Stephen said, creating entirely new industries. Through technology, companies can also produce more output with the same resources. Small businesses can reach global markets, and new sectors like e-commerce, fintech, and AI have emerged. I think this naturally leads to job creation. We see new roles in technology, in digital marketing, and platform-based work such as ride hailing and online selling. However, I mean, the rise of AI also introduced a new challenge. AI significantly improves efficiency, but at the same time, it also replaces certain types of jobs where I can already see it in my sector, in my industry, especially those repetitive and entry level roles. This create This creates a shift in the job market where high skilled workers benefit more, but then others may face displacement. So the question is digitalization or AI more positive or negative? The answer is for the longer term, it is clearly positive because it increases productivity and it creates wealth and generates new types of jobs. But for the shorter term, it can be disruptive, especially for workers who are not prepared for the shift. But the key takeaways is that digital economy does not remove jobs. It actually transforms them. As for young people, the most important strategy is to adapt continuously, learn and build skills that cannot be easily replaced by technology. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Natasha. Okay, so maybe can we say that Chris or QR code for payment, is it also including to the innovations in digital finance or digital economy? Do you all guys agree with this?
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Okay. Okay. So talking about Chris that has begun to be implemented in several countries, and most recently, a senior officer. Well, I'm located in Jordan, so I just read an interesting news that the one of the director of the Central Bank of Jordan expressed strong interest for Chris due to its emphasis on convenience and ease of use. This has led to an interest in studying Chris further and potentially developing in Jordan versions of it. So the question is to what extent can Chris expand globally and what types of countries should it target it in order to remain sustainable and competitive? I think we will start from Stephen. What's your point of view about Chris? Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so honestly, like curious getting attention from the Jordan Central Bank doesn't surprise me at all because it is actually one of the smartest payment policy that Indonesia currently have. So like with one QR code, we can like combine every single payment provider to use the same standard. And also this QRIS has already been adapted to many countries. So with the QRIS, we can also use it on like Thailand or yeah, the ASEAN countries, something like that. So I think with the yeah, so I think this QRIS will be yeah, implemented globally. I think it is very useful. Yeah.
Okay, also because also it is easy to use for the Chris technology. Okay, so but Natasha, what's your point of view about Chris accelerations in this global era?
Yeah, I think it's a really good thing because one of Indonesia's most impactful financial innovation, I mean, this curious thing, is a one QR code for all payments. It unifies multiple payments providers into a single system, right? For consumers, also like us, it ensures seamless transaction across different apps. For merchants, this eliminates the needs to display multiple QR codes. Well, the result is a system that is not only efficient, but it's also highly inclusive, especially for small businesses and the unbanked population. And what makes Curious particularly interesting today is that it's no longer just a domestic success story. We are beginning to see international interest. So, including well, this admiration from central banks in Jordan. This signals that Curious is not just a local solution; it has the potential to become a global model for digital payments, particularly in the emerging markets. Um, well, I think Curious is also best suited for emerging markets with fragmented payment ecosystem, right? So I think countries in Southeast Asia and some parts of probably Africa are strong candidates to use this Curious thing, and also it is also suitable for countries with large informal sector, which includes Indonesia. Because we have small merchants, street vendors, micro entrepreneurs, and whatnot, right? And Curious also does not require expensive hardware, and thirdly, Curious expansion is more sustainable. So in countries where central banks play an active role in payments system regulation. So this Curious thing, all we know that it succeeds in Indonesia because it is also backed by Bank Indonesia, thankfully. So it also ensures standardization and also trust. Countries that have strong regulatory institutions are more likely to replicate this business. Yeah.
Okay, so to conclude that Chris can be implemented more in emerging countries or for especially for small and medium enterprises. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I think Curious has a significant global potential. As a targeted, scalable model for emerging markets, because its strengths,
Mhm.
Curious strengths lies in simplicity, inclusivity, and also standardization. If implemented strategically, Curious could become a cornerstone of digital financial ecosystem in many parts of the world, I think. So yeah, if we also compare to the United States, for example. So the thing is with this Curious, the rapid adoption of Curious in Indonesia is also a strong catalyst for digital economy acceleration. As more transactions now also become digital, it also creates valuable data. It improves financial inclusion and enables banks and fintech companies to expand services such as lending and also investment. um Interestingly, this is also has global implications. So as we all know, in the United States, traditional payment systems are dominated by companies like Visa and MasterCard, which earn fees from the transaction, right? When Indonesia uses Curious instead of the credit cards, these transactions bypass the global payment networks. So it also reduces fee income for these companies. At the same time, Indonesia benefits by retaining the transaction data, and it also lowers costs and also strengthens the financial independence.
Okay, cool. Also, you make the comparisons with the Visa and Mastercard. Thank you, Natasha. Now let's move to Dwi. Dwi, since you have a strong US backgrounds, we can say US backgrounds. Okay, what's your point of view between Chris, maybe Visa and Mastercard? What's the differences and how can Chris compete with them?
I feel like it's a very tough question to answer, but because obviously, um, growing up, this is something new to us, and also we've more familiarized with Mastercard cards and Visa, which is a tied mega corporation. So, very comprehensive view from Kak Christine. So, a quick context for everyone that for me, Curious is something that we should proud of because we are exporting infrastructure of payment rather than importing. That's the first thing. The different distinguished from Visa or Mastercard. And I guess for to stay sustainable and competitive, I think Kak Christine has mentioned it before, but one is interoperability and standards, in which the standardized and also Curious must be easy for any country to plug in without rebuilding the system. And also, it's different in the terms of regulatory cooperation, especially for cross-border payments, and the difference between, let's say, like Alipay or UnionPay as well, which are well-funded competitors. And that our edge is the Curious is homegrown, we are neutral, and we are not tied to a single mega corporation, which we should sustain that part. So I think that's my take on this question. Thank you.
Thank you. So, in each development technology, there must be risk associated with the digital economy, such as cybercrime or job displacement. Okay, job displacement is something that we hear a lot. Job creations, but now also job displacement on the same time. So, what's your point of view for Dwi?
So this is the question where we talk about risk, right? And because the risk for me are real, and they hit our generation the hardest for me. First is I think it's the cyber crime that we have to address, because we have been hit hard with data breaches, scams, fake investment, and also it's mostly targeting students and younger generation. um, Identity theft has become an everyday risk, first of all. And the biggest defense that we could take is not software, but it's literacy. So we have to, get familiarized or learning, knowing what a scam looks like, is the most valuable skill of the next decade. And that's the first one of the risks that we have to take, and we have to face. And one of it is also job displacement. Is the other one I think about a lot. I think Kristen has mentioned that AI will replace some roles, like, basic copywriting, translation, parts of customer service, which is could be a in the same side of coin. It's a good thing, uh, and it's already happening. But here's the part of story that teaches us that every automation wave has displaced jobs and created new categories of work. Let's say AI itself, like ChatGPT. Sure, it replaces most jobs, but at the same time, they're creating more jobs to be part of that ecosystem itself, right? So the challenge is in the between, and the people most at risk are the ones who can't or won't reskill in time. So I'm telling everyone, including myself, is this: we have to become the bridge of generation. So the people who can translate between the old way and the new way are the ones who will have to work. So that's that's the story of how we face the risk in the age of AI. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, now let's move to Stephen. Stephen, since you are actively involved in crypto, and could you please tell us something regarding the risks in crypto or the in development of digital economy? What's your point of view?
I think there is, yeah, of course, cybercrime like hacking, yeah, because like now cybercrime is already costing the world like over $1 trillion a year. So because when your wealth exists digitally, one phishing links or one compromised password can wipe you out in like a minutes, yeah. Because I've seen it happen to many people if they were careless and they were not careful enough, right? Especially in the rise of the blockchain technology, because nowadays most of their assets is just in the wallet, in the Web3 wallet. So yeah, they can like access their money digitally, and also the like the hacker or the phishing links can also like take all of your money in an instant, yeah. So and also I think job displacement also, yeah. But as I say before, because like if we have enough skills, we can also utilize this digitalization as an opportunity, yeah.
All right. So now let's hear the voice of Natasha. What's your point of view?
So yeah, I think I agree with Dwi and Stephen. I mean, cybersecurity is one of the immediate risks, because as more financial transactions and personal data move online, the risk of hacking, data breaches and cybercrime increases significantly. So I think oversharing on the internet also can lead to cybercrime, because it gives criminals the personal information they need to exploit, impersonate, or attack people. So I think why oversharing causes it is that cyber criminals combines bits of information, from social media, forums, and public posts to impersonate you. So let me give you an example of digital risk that many young investors overlook. So a few years ago, there's this major e-commerce platform in Southeast Asia. I'm not gonna name it, it experienced a massive data breach where tens of millions of user accounts were exposed. The leaked data included emails and also personal information and even encrypted passwords. At first glance, this may not seem directly related to investing and whatnot, but real risk comes from how interconnected our digital lives are. So many users reuse the same password across platforms. So once hackers obtain this data, they can attempt to access other accounts, including banking apps and investment platforms. I think this creates a chain of reaction. A breach in one platform can lead to financial losses in another. So personal data can be used for phishing attacks, identity theft, and social engineering, which are increasingly common in this digital finance. So the key takeaways is that digital investing is not only about market risks, but it also about cybersecurity risks. So protecting your digital identity is also just as important as choosing the right platform and whatnot. Thank you.
All right, great point of view from Natasha. Also, it's interesting to hear Dwi's opinion regarding literacy. Literacy must be first, and also what Stephen point of view regarding phishing, etc. Now, okay, let's jump to the next questions. Let's talk about capital market and also investment. What are the most common types of investment instruments in the capital market, and how do investors make profits in the capital market? Okay, I think I want to start from Steven.
Actually, there are a lot of instrument in the capital market, and it all based on your risk profile. So maybe we start from the most common one will be the government bonds. So this is basically you are lending money and getting paid interest from the government bonds. Yeah, it is safer than stocks. Yeah, so it is also the same with the time deposits. Yeah, and after that we can move on to the stocks. Yeah, so basically in the stocks you own a piece of the company, so you make money when the price goes up or when they share profits as a dividends. And historically the best performing asset class for over long periods, this one. And right now the most common one and the most like happening one is the crypto. Is highest risk. Yeah, but you can profit from the price taking rewards or maybe provide liquidity to the protocols, so you can have like access to the decentralized finance, liquidity protocol, lending, borrowing, and a lot of that. So basically in crypto it is the most innovative one, and you can have a lot of like profit opportunities from crypto market as well. So basically, it all depends on your own risk appetite and risk profile. And right now, you can also invest in commodities such as oil, gold, or silver. And maybe like right now, our currency is very weakening, right? So we need to differentiate our assets. Maybe we need to have exposure to like foreign currency as well, like US dollar, Sing dollar, or maybe Swiss franc. Yeah. So I think that's all the common capital market instruments. So it is all based on its individual, how they own risk profile and how is their expertise. Yeah. So like Warren Buffett says, never invest something that you don't understand. So basically just invest in something that you understand and you have passion in it. Yeah. Something like that.
Okay, great. Just follow-up questions. What factors should be considered before making an investment decisions?
Of course, the first one, as I always say, is our risk profile. Yeah. So we need to know about our risk tolerance. So, like for example, could you watch your portfolio like drop like 50%? If the answer is no, so yeah, don't go into the crypto market. Right. And also the second one will be the time horizon. We need to understand that we buy this investment is for the long term or for the short term. If it's for the long term, yeah, we need to invest in something safer. For example, if it's for the our retirement fund, or if it's for our like kids education, or maybe for marriage, yeah, we need to invest in something safer, of course. And also we need to prepare the emergency fund as well. Basically, before we started investing, we need to have like around 6 to 12 months of our like daily needs. Yeah. For example, if your spending in a month is like $1,000, so basically you need to have around $6,000 to $12,000 in your bank account, or maybe in like mutual fund. In Indonesia we have the reksadana pasar uang. You can park your money there, or maybe in the digital bank you can have a flexible deposit. You can park your money there as well, in order to like for your emergency fund. So once you have the emergency fund, you can start investing in the alternative assets, such as like now we have the cryptocurrencies. And yeah, maybe like now we also have the Pokemon card that is currently happening. If you want to go into the alternative investments such as this, make sure you have the emergency fund prepared first. And also you need to understand what you are buying. Yeah, like what Warren Buffett says, we need to only invest in what you understand. And last but not least, you need to know when to exit. Yeah. So because a lot of people nowadays, they buy an investment without any plan where when to sell. So it's not investing. So we need to decide in advance what will make us change our mind and when we will exit from this investment. Something like that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. It's clear explanations from Stephen. Now let's take a look to Dwi. Dwi, what's your point of view regarding these questions? What are the most common type of investment instruments in capital market, and how do investor make profits in the capital market?
I think my answer is basically the same as Steven's answer. It's very comprehensive. I'm pretty sure he's very knowledgeable more in this topic than me. But I think to add, to validate his answer is, I think from the narrative side, you have to understand what is your goal in investing before making an investment decision as well, and also choosing what type of instruments that you want to invest. You should be able to consider your goal first. That's from my narrative side. Are you saving for a house, let's say in 5 years? Do you want to retire early or just learning? And so that answer changes everything, like where you should invest and why, and also the risk aversion on that. um to validate, yes, you have to understand uh what you are trying to invest again. So literacy, financial literacy here is very important, and I think that's one of the tips from the narrative side or the marketer side. You have to be taken into consideration. So yeah, that's my take. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now maybe we can have Natasha. What's your point of view? Maybe you have something to add for these questions.
So you're asking about the factors that should be
Exactly.
before
Uh-huh.
making investment. So my take is pretty similar to Stephen and Dwayne. So yeah, in today's world, investing is where investing is more accessible than ever. It is easy to focus on opportunities, trends, or even like short-term gains. But good investing does not begin with what to buy. It begins with how to think. So well, we have to know the financial goals. Like every investment decision should start with clarity. Like, are you investing for short-term gains or long-term wealth accumulation or financial security? And also your risk tolerance, as what Stephen has said. So not all investors react the same way to market volatility, you know, especially nowadays with the war and whatnot. Some can withstand sharp declines without panic, while others cannot. So you need to understand your own tolerance for risk. That is very essential, because in reality, risk is not just about numbers. It is also about your behavior. The biggest losses often come from not from the market itself, but from your emotional decisions made during the uncertainty times, especially nowadays. And also you need to know the time horizon, right? longer horizon allows you to ride out volatility and benefit from this compounding. And lastly, maybe before investing, whether in stocks, crypto, and other instruments, you need to understand what drives its value. You need to understand the fundamental value behind it, and what's the business model, and what are the risks, and what are the growth drivers of the companies. Okay, I think that's all.
All right, thank you, Natasha. So, okay, maybe this is going to be the last questions from these sessions. How can young persons move from being a speculative trader to a financial innovator who actually understand the underlying blockchain technology? Let's start from Dwi.
Okay, thank you. This is a self journey as well because I am currently learning uh trying to understand blockchain since I am writing a piece for that. So a quick summary, I think we can start by one, uh we have to study it. Again, I'm learning as well. So financial literacy is very important here. This is the hardest single move. Trading feels productive, and well, studying also feels slow, but studying compounds and trading usually does not feel that way. And second is to go deep on protocol, and also pick the instrument that you kind of understand, with lower risk, such as Ethereum or Bitcoin, and also learn how it actually works. And also, I suggest to read white paper, uh, an actual white paper from from think tanks, which have like comprehensive knowledge and also take on you know how to understand these things. And also you can study it from Twitter or any social media. And also that comes to a point where you have to read the source, not the summary. uh how you see research papers from think tanks, and also the good stuff is free if you're willing to read it. And the next step is build something tiny. Even if you're not technical, deploy a simple smart contract using a tutorial, run a node, act of building, change how you see everything. And then also see the community, find communities of builders, like in Discord, you can simply find a community to talk about this in Discord, and surround yourself with people who are making things, not just trading them, and who actually want you to learn and grow on the narrative side. Which, and this shift from speculator to innovator is not about intelligence, but also where you want to spend your attention is. Again, to summarize, all of it leads down to financial literacy and also your willingness to learn more about this. So yeah, I think that's my take on marketer or narrative side. Maybe Stephen or Christine would have a better answer in the technical side. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now let's hear Christian's point of view. Natasha, sorry, Natasha's point of view.
Um,
From
I
speculative
mean,
trader to financial innovator.
okay. So I think the capital market is inherently volatile, and that volatility is the price investors pay for high returns, right? Um, for young investors, especially, the key is not to avoid risk, but to manage it intelligently. First, probably they need to redefine what high return means. It's not about quick gains, but about consistent compounding over time. Sustainable returns are more powerful than short-term wins, followed by large losses. And you need to know also how to balance portfolio approach. A core allocation to a stable and long-term assets should be complemented by a smaller portion of allocated to small portion that are allocated to high risk, high return opportunities. This also allows participation in upside without excessive downside exposure. Yeah, as I said before, I mean, time horizon also plays a critical role. Um, and behavior is just as important as strategy. Your emotional decisions like panic selling or chasing the trends often destroy returns more than the market volatility itself. So yeah, in summary, I think successful investing is not only about maximizing returns at all times, but also about optimizing the balance between the risk and also the returns while staying disciplined over the long term. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Natasha. And now let's hear the Stephen's point of view regarding these questions.
I think like now a lot of like retail investors started to view the cryptocurrency or blockchain technologies as an instrument to like get rich quick schemes. Like they don't understand the fundamental, they don't know what the usage of it. They just blindly open a position just because they are following an influencers or maybe following some calls from a trader on X or maybe on the Telegram. But I think if you just follow someone calls blindly without you do your own research or you understand the world fundamentals of what the projects are actually doing, you won't have a conviction in holding those assets for the long term. So basically, if you need to define yourself first. If you are a trader, yeah, you can just blindly follow, just using the technical, using the candlesticks to make a decision. But if you are an investor for the long term, of course, you need to understand the fundamental of the projects. You need to have a conviction on your assets because if you don't have the conviction, you cannot hold your asset for the long term. What if the assets like suddenly dump like 30%, 40%? If you don't have the conviction, of course, you will definitely sell the assets. But if you have the conviction, you will definitely average down, buy more because you understand that the assets is like right now is undervalued. So basically, if in the blockchain technologies, you need to become if you want to become a sophisticated investor, you need to understand the fundamentals. So you are not just a speculative trader. So of course the path is not easy. Yeah, as what we said, you need to understand the white paper. You need to like go deep dive into the X, go deep dive into the, yeah, maybe all the blockchain website. Of course the language will not be easy, but actually is actually what is one of my job to like as a bridge to retail investors, so you guys can easily understand about the blockchain technology and the blockchain language. You guys can follow my Instagram at Anderson Steven, or maybe our media company at coinkami.id, because we provide news in easy to understand language. Yeah. And also I think you guys can try a lot of stuff, because like now in decentralized finance you have a lot of stuff to like get revenue, get income from the blockchain technology. So for example, airdrop in blockchain, you can earn money without any capital in the airdrop. So you can like use the testnet, or maybe you do certain tasks in the X, in the, yeah, a lot of tasks in the like bridging, or maybe supplying or lending, borrowing or swapping in the decentralized finance, and you guys can gain rewards. And the rewards sometimes it's very big, sometimes can be 100 million rupiahs. A lot of my friends have life-changing money from airdrop as well without any capital. And maybe the second one, you can try staking, or you can try swapping. Of if you like to trade in the DEX, you can try a lot of different network. Yeah, maybe Ethereum, Binance, Hyperliquid, a lot of stuff like that. You can try using the testnet on read the white paper. And also you can try to deploy some of the smart contract if you are uh, having some passion in it. And maybe you need to understand the tokenomics as well in every project. So, and also you need to understand Mm, and last but not least, the indicator that I always say is CURU. We need to first understand in a project is the community and the use case and how is the revenue of the project and also who is the user of the project. So you understand these four aspects before you started investing. So you will not be just a speculative trader anymore, but you have a conviction and the fundamental understanding of the project. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen Anderson. Okay, so to conclude, I want to ask each speaker to give one advice, just one or two sentences. What's your opinion or your advice for those who want to start entering into investment or how to survive in this digital economy era? What's your point of view and what's your opinion? Sorry, what's your advice? Just the quick one.
I think
Okay. Mhm.
okay. Yeah, I think for me, because right now we are in the midst of crisis and we are in the midst of war. As we all know, the economy in Indonesia is not good. Yeah, US dollar rising and all of the inflation is very high and all of the daily needs are going up. Yeah, as we can see, the rice, the meat, and all of the stuff, and especially the oil and the gas. Yeah, so I think we need to understand one of the Chinese character called Wei Qi. So it's called it's crisis in Chinese language, but if we translate it, it consists of two different character, and it say crisis and opportunity. So basically, what I say is behind every crisis there is always an opportunity. So if you want to start investing right now, it is a good time to start because in the after every crisis there will be a new red sky emerge from a crisis because red sky is made in the bear market, not in the bull market. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Natasha, what's your advice?
Hi. My advice is in the stock market, especially, to become a true investor, I think you need to develop a structured frameworks. This includes understanding how a company that you invest
Mhm.
generates revenue, analyze the industry, evaluate its valuation, because valuation is a very important factor in investing, right? And also, lastly, identifying the key risks. Also, just what we had already explained earlier, it also requires discipline. Investing often involves waiting for the right opportunity rather than constantly taking actions. So yeah, beyond investing, becoming a this financial innovator, financial investor also requires an even deeper level of thinking.
All
So
right. Mhm.
yeah,
Yep, please.
well, the period has been difficult. Fundamentals remain intact. That is, uh, companies that we should be investing in.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think ultimately the goal is not just to follow the market, but also to understand it and eventually shape it. Again, best of luck to everybody who wants to invest in the stock market. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Natasha. Now let's have a quick advice from Dwi.
Yeah, I think to tie it all together from Stephen and Natasha, again, on top of the technical aspects, we have to really understand, get yourself acquainted with the terms. And that means, the financial literacy is the most important part. Read as much as you can, get involved into communities that actually talking about it and also the expertise. Stay on the news. A lot of, hoax or like bad news are all around, and then we have to be stay informed. That's for sure. Yeah, to tie it all together, just stay informed, stay knowledgeable, and being present at all times. So, yep. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dwi. Now, it's the end of our sessions for the discussions. Now we are waiting for participants who want to ask their questions to the speakers. So, for those who want to ask, please turn on your camera and also turn on your microphone. Here, prepare your questions. Okay, from Dennis. Dennis, you can turn on your mic and you can introduce yourself, also the questions to whom it is going to be addressed.
Okay, so my name is Denise and I'm in year 10 and I would like to ask a couple of questions. So my first question would be, okay, so in this digital economy, success depends on how much attention you get and like social media and the data you collect and like how the algorithm shows your content. And does this mean being visible online is becoming more important than actually being skilled?
Okay, to whom it is going to be addressed? Hi, Dennis.
Sorry?
Okay, so your questions will be answered by Natasha, Stephen, or
Mm,
Dwi.
with, let's say, Dui.
Okay, Dwi, what's your opinion?
Um, s- Thank you for your question. First of all, so your question was, let me get this right. Instead of being visible, is it important to have a skill instead of being visible? Is that your question? Sorry, I just wanted to answer it right.
So like
Mm.
is it like more important than being online, you know, like being in the
Mhm.
algorithm in like random people's TikToks than actually being skilled in real life?
Okay, okay, got it. So that is such a good question. I've been battling whether being visible slash being more skilled is more important. And honestly, as a content strategist, my short answer is visibility and skill are not actually opposites. But if you have to choose, skill always wins in the long run. Why? Because I feel like visibility without scale is like a balloon. It rises fast, looks impressive, looks good on paper, and it pops the moment people look closely. We've seen all of creators go viral and then disappear because there was nothing underneath the tension. I'm not, at everyone. It's just that's not a career. That's just a moment. So skill without visibility for me is a slow build. It's frustrating early on, but it compounds. People who are generally uh, good at something eventually get found because the internet rewards usefulness over time. So honestly, in reality, in digital economy, is you actually need both. But in the specific order, skill first and then you become visible over time. It's the amplification. So my advice, don't chase followers but also optimize your time and again literacy, and let the people find you if you have the skill for it, and that order for me matters. So yeah, that's it for for my answer. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay,
for
I
that. It's
got
an
it.
excellent question.
Thank you so much. Okay, I think I got it now. Because
Hmm.
like I'm also trying to start like posting things online and me and my
Yep.
friends would like to like just draw and then like post it online. I think we're like pretty talented, but there's like it's like hard to get views, you know.
Yeah, no, no. So a little side story. I'm actually not a marketer before. So I'm revolving like policy and very, straight, serious stuff. But 2 years ago, I discovered that I have this skill of communication. So I build communities over pop culture events, and that's mainly what I'm focusing right now too. So yeah, thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Dennis, for your questions. Now we have another one from Rumeisa Yaman. Hi, Rumeisa.
Hi, thank you so much. I actually also got a couple of questions for each speaker, but since Miss Dewey already answered, maybe I can ask my question to Miss Christine. Um, in your answer, you mentioned that there was a case in Southeast Asia about the data security. So I would like to ask that, do you think the financial privacy becoming such a luxury in the digital economy, like it is getting easier and at the same time more difficult to protect the data? So what's your opinion on that?
So,
Okay.
so you're asking about the privacy. Does it come luxury in the digital economy? So I think the answer is, I think I can say it, you know, yes and no. I mean, um, recent data security incidents have made many people wonder, is financial privacy becoming a luxury? In some ways, it can feel that way as financial services become more digital, more connected, and more data driven. Vast amounts of personal and transactional information are collected, stored, and analyzed. When breaches occur, they don't just expose data, they expose trust. And not everyone has the same capacity to protect themselves from the consequences. I think those with greater resources often have access to better cybersecurity tools, private banking systems, legal resource. Meanwhile, everyday users also may face higher risks with that also imbalance can create a perception that true financial privacy is slipping out of reach. However, I would argue that financial privacy should never be a luxury. Financial privacy is a foundational right. It underpins trust in institutions, confidence in markets, and participation in the formal economy. If people believe that their financial data is inherently unsafe, they disengage. And when the trust erodes, the system itself also weakens. The issue that we are facing is not that digital finance makes privacy uh, impossible, but it raises the standard of responsibility for everyone involved. For example, like my company, the this my company must treat like data protection not as a compliance exercise, but as a core duty. Transparency, strong governance, and investment in security are no longer optional, but they are also essential. And users must be empowered with awareness, understanding how their data is used and what rights they have, and how to manage digital risks in an increasingly connected world. So rather than asking whether financial privacy has become luxury, perhaps the more important question is, are we willing to treat financial privacy as a shared responsibility and a non-negotiable standard rather than a premium feature? If we succeed in doing that, privacy remains a right. If we fail, then yes, it risks becoming a privilege. So the outcome, I think, depends on the choices that we make now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Okay. Rumesa, do you have another questions?
Yeah, I actually have three more questions. Maybe,
Okay. I
maybe
think
I can.
we.
Can I ask to Mr. Steven?
Sure.
So I have a question since you mentioned that you're an influencer, I think about crypto. How do you balance between educating your audience and not unintentionally promoting risky behavior to them?
Uh, I think we, as an influencer, we always do our due diligence, of course, before we started to make some content to show to our audience. And we always educating them, and we also always put a disclaimer in our content. Yeah. So basically, they need to do their own research, not just following our recommendation of stuff. And it's basically not financial advice. And basically, we also do our own due diligence regarding the projects that we share in our community and in our social media to make sure it all follows the regulation and it all safe, and yeah, and it all, and especially the security, because everything matters, something like that.
Thank you so much.
All right. Do you still have another questions, Romaisa?
Yeah, I have two
Okay.
more, and I would like to ask to Miss Dewey if it's okay. Um,
Sure.
as you mentioned, AI is currently like replacing some of the job titles. Do you think financial literacy will still matter in a fully automated digital economy in the future?
Yes, for sure. So like I said before, financial literacy is something. It's a weapon. For the automation and everything in between. That means if we are equipped enough with skill, also kind of validate what my answer was, skill and visibility. Uh, being skilled in financial world and also in literacy will equip you enough knowledge uh to get ahead of yourself in this changes. So yeah, so that's my answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And may
Thank
I ask
you.
my last question?
Sure. Sure.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. This is a question to all speakers today. First of all, thank you so much for all the answers you've given. I got a lot of information from that. So, since I'm a second year international business student, I would like to ask you that if you were a student again today, what skill in digital finance would you prioritize first? Thank you.
Okay. Maybe we can start from Steven.
I think I will start with the AI, because right now AI is one of the most important thing in our nowadays. Yeah, because all of our stuff are using AI. If we like we make decision right now, AI can also influence our decision, and AI can also help us in our daily stuffs. And even right now, if you are a student, you can do your thesis using AI. Like back in my days as a student, we cannot do that, and it's also help us to like make our days simpler. And right now with the rise of cloud AI, yeah, you need to understand about cloud because it help our daily needs a lot. Yeah, so I think AI is one of the most important thing you need to learn right now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for Natasha.
Hi, thank you for your question. I mean, you're very lucky because back in the days when I was in the university, I had to, write essays on my own without ChatGPT or whatnot helping me. So if I were a student again, I had to choose one skill to prioritize, and digital finance. It would be data literacy, especially specifically the ability to understand, question, and translate data into financial insight. So digital finance is powered by data, right? So for example, like credit decisions, algorithm, and even regulatory frameworks are increasingly data driven. So if you understand how data is structured, analyzed, and interpreted, you gain leverage across almost every role in finance. So yeah, today it might be AI models. Tomorrow it will be something else, but to be able to think analytically, understand probabilities, and connect data to real economic behavior is durable. I will pair data literacy with one mindset, the critical thinking in a digital environment where outputs come instantly and confidently. The real edge is knowing when not to trust the model blindly, right? So if I were starting again, I would focus first on becoming someone who can combine financial intuition with data-driven reasoning. That skill travels well across industries, I believe. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now for Dwi.
Um, I think for me, it's the combination of the other speakers have spoken. AI, yes. Uh, Data literacy, yes. Again, financial literacy, yes. But one very personal experience probably is, so I've actually known the terms like Bitcoin, like any blockchain, ever since I was in high school. Actually, we learned that in high school. It, I remember that was 2016, and our teacher was teaching us about uh, there's this thing called Bitcoin, and one Bitcoin in 2016 is around, it was less than $1,000 USD, and 10 years fast forward now, it's almost, I don't know, maybe above $60,000, I think. um so I think one thing to take is to actually learn and listen to whatever's going on. Inherit all of the knowledge. Again, that's first. And if you like really understand, you will be interested to investing it. At the time I was 16, so I don't know how to invest to like all of the like bitcoins or ethereum and whatever. So I guess again, to yeah, correct, to pair it the data literacy, and also to stay in touch um with the news again, and to actually be able to know where and how to invest to um like a bitcoin, for example. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, Dwi, and also thank you to all the speakers for your incredible answer. Also, for those who actively involved in this Q&A sessions, thank you so much. Appreciate all of your questions. Now, we will give the certificate for all the speakers here, and also we can have photo sessions together. Maybe participants who are able to open your camera, please turn on your camera, and my friend Aulia will share the screen.
Is
Uh,
it visible?
Still loading here. Not visible here.
Wait.
Okay. Okay. For the first one, for Miss Christine Natasha, here is your certificate. Thank you so much for your insight, for your knowledge, and for your sharing it tonight. It was incredible and nice to have you here. Thank you so much. And we will deliver all the certificate to you after attestations. Okay, for
Thank you so
Kristen,
much.
for Natasha, do you have something to say?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. I had a really good time, and I hope the session is worth it. It's worth your weekend time. So yeah, thank you, and keep in touch. You may follow my Instagram or DM me or whatnot. Thank you.
Sure. Also, maybe some of you want to drop your Instagram here. It's also the opportunity for you, and we can get connected. Nice. Okay, for
Thank you.
for another speaker, now it's time for.
Wait a moment, yeah.
Mhm. Okay, now for Mr. Stephen Anderson. For Mr. Stephen Anderson, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, also for your sharing here. Nice to see you here. Okay, do you have something to say?
Yeah, so thank you for all the attendees and all the committee for making this event happening in tonight. Yeah, so for all the participants, if you have any further inquiries or question, feel free to reach me out on Instagram at Anderson double N Steven. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll still have Dwi Ahmadida. For Dwi Ananda Ahmadina, thank you so much for your time here, for your dedicated in sharing your knowledge. Do you have something to say?
Yes, of course. I would just like to say thank you very much for the comedy and for the moderator, of course, of BISF, and also Indonesia Youth Foundation. I'm very thankful to be here and talk to amazing speakers, and also I hope that we can still in touch. I'll drop my Instagram and LinkedIn in a comment, and hopefully moving forward, we're still going to be in touch and keep talking about important issues and topics. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now it's the end of today's sessions. So for all the speakers, you may leave. Sorry, should we take a photo, Aulia?
Yep.
Okay, I think we can have a photo session. So for all of you here who can turn on your camera, we can take a photo. We can have photo sessions. Okay, maybe we are still waiting for about 10. Okay, we have that turn. We have our project director, Felicia. Okay, I think we can take a photo now.
Okay, can you help me to count down, please, Kak Akbar?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
3. Okay, everyone is ready. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. All right. Thank you so much for your time here. For all the speakers, you may leave the Zoom meeting, but for the participant, please stay here because we still have another sessions after the break. Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
So
Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Happy
good night.
Saturday.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Have a Saturday.
Good to see everyone. Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you. So now we will have 15 minutes break. So all of you here need to stay in this room, and we will come back at 9:10 p.m. in West Indonesian time. See you.